Paris has joined us on the phone, and I suspect, Paris, that you disagree.
I do disagree, yeah. It's not sure I'm not in the studio because I've got a few questions for Nick, actually. Nick, do you have children yourself?
Do I have two sons, yes.
You have two sons, so I'm guessing that you had them in the kind of traditional, straightforward way and it wasn't too much trouble for you?
I had them through normal method, yes, with my ex.
You had normal method, OK. So do you believe that the NHS should fund people who are not able to have their own children?
In most cases, I support IVF, yes.
In most cases. So
yes.
We're not just talking about IVF. There's lots of reasons why people might not be able to have children in the conventional way. So the NHS is for everybody. Do you even know what the NHS is for? Like, what is the NHS for if it's not to provide medical care for everybody in society? Why is it
Paris,
0.1% of the population?
Paris, I'm gonna jump in here now. Please excuse me for interrupting you, and I don't know what method or platform we've phoned you on, but you're sounding really difficult to understand. So I'm going to get our team to call you back. I don't know whether we've phoned you on a WhatsApp line or something like that, but we need a normal phone line.
What you're saying, which is the NHS should be available for anybody. IVF treatment for
and it's a shame because why isn't it there for those elderly people in Wiltshire? Why isn't it there for that elderly woman in Plymouth who was left for 3.5 hours in the freezing cold and they had to put blankets over her because they couldn't get an ambulance? Of course the NHS has to be there, but I would argue that this is almost selective surgery. I appreciate he has emotional health issues, and I do not want anyone to think that I'm absolutely on board with it. But just if the NHS decided that it was not right to freeze this man's eggs, I think we have to abide by the clinician's decision. And everybody viewing this programme would agree it's not right to leave a 77-year-old woman out in the cold, freezing on the deck.
No, of course not.
Well, Sarah says the option to have eggs and sperm stored should be available to anybody transitioning. And we're desperately trying to get Paris back again now, but she will say, I'm pretty sure, that Hayden should have been supported.
But I say again, this decision not to freeze it was taken by a clinician. It wasn't just like ringing an admin person who said no and slammed the phone down, or a call centre. There may be emotion.
She's back on the phone. Paris, are you there now?
Hello, yeah, hi.
Oh, it's the same old line. That's really dodgy.
Same old line.
Yeah, but make your point, and we'll try our best.
I think, the point is, why is Nick picking on 0.01% of the population? I mean, it's, yet again, trans people are the scapegoat. Get real. The reason that the NHS is being run down to the ground is because the government is running it down and trying to sell it off to their mates and privatise it. That's the real issue, not trans people. And I think Nick needs to get a grip if he thinks that we're the reason that funds are running low.
So because this is a very, very small section of the population who are being penalised at their most vulnerable time.
I am not for 1 second suggesting that the perils of the NHS are down to this particular individual from Gloucester. And I think if the Prime Minister here, which she would actually point to the fact that they've invested more money anyway than ever before, so she might have a query. And certainly there's no evidence to say that they're trying to privatise it. So I think we just need to challenge the suggestion that this government is seeking to privatise it. You can't prove any of that. But what I am saying is at a time when we are going through, in the Red Cross, a humanitarian crisis, the views of your viewers now, they will have stories of relatives and friends. We've got to look where every penny is going. And if a doctor says no, which is what's happened in this man's case, there must be a reason for him or her to make that decision, Holly.
And as we should not pay for it. The NHS cannot afford it. We have cancer patients who are denied treatment because of the money. I'm sorry, but freezing his eggs are bottom of the priority list.
Precisely.
All right, well, Paris, thank you for calling. A little bit of a nightmare. Couldn't get into the studio, and also a really dodgy phone line. So hopefully at some stage we can have you here,
yeah, that would be nice,
sitting here to make your point that you wanted to make.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Happy New Year to you both.
And you also.